morning, friends. Today I'd like to share a video story of when I was younger and I had my horse Candy. She was brown and white and had a small bit of black on her. And she was a small horse, not considered a pony, but not a large horse. So she was just right for an 11 or 12-year-old girl. And when we purchased her, the young boy that used to ride her told me that if you ever bring her into a show ring, you must have a crop in your hand or a switch. Well, I did not use a switch on Candy ever. I didn't believe in hitting my horse, and so I disregarded that information. But it was my dream to show Candy in a horse show and be able to let other people see what a beautiful horse I had and what a good relationship she and I had together. We had many, many months of fun trail riding, and just me and her, and walking around the lakes and on the dirt roads in New Hampshire, in Gilmanton. And I used to ride with my girlfriends who each had horses. One of the girls' name was Patty, and the other girl's name was Doris, and we were the Three Musketeers. We just rode everywhere every time we got a chance. And this was something that was very relaxing and very enjoyable for all three of us, to be able to take our horses on the country roads. So it came to be about the July 4th weekend, and the town was putting on a horse show, and I couldn't wait. I was so excited to be in my first horse show with Candy. So I knew nothing about it, had no formal training. I just wanted to participate. So once we got there, it was held in Belmont, New Hampshire. And once we got there, I was surrounded by all these young girls who had all kinds of formal horse training, and they had their large thoroughbred horses, and here I was with little Candy. But I was determined. I was going to go into the show ring and to 3 different classes, and we were going to show what a beautiful pair we were, and how talented we were. I just had this all imagined in my head of taking the blue ribbon of the horse show. So the first class came around, and it was a costume class where all the riders dressed in different costumes, and I was Lady Liberty, and I had my torch held up. It was a paper torch that my mom had made, and I had a crown on my head, and had this white gown that went all down, long flowing gown, in my cowboy boots, and I was just so proud. And we went into the ring and we circled around, and everybody was just, all the contestants were enjoying themselves, and all the crowd around the ring, they were enjoying watching their children, and proud moms and dads, and the class was over and we exited the ring. I don't remember who took first place, but it wasn't me, and I didn't get second place, and I didn't get third place, and I do remember that much. But I had enjoyed myself. I thought it was fun. So the second class came around, and this was more of show the quality of your horse and the quality of your riding style. So we entered into the ring, and all the horses in a single file line. We circled the ring, and the judge was in the center and he's watching everybody, and he's giving different commands, walk, trot, stop, line up, that kind of thing. Back up your horse and do a small circle around the judge and all the things of a horse show. And that went off fine for a little while until it was my turn to do an individual ride so the judge can see what we were capable of doing as a team. And all of a sudden, Candy decides she's going to become a rodeo horse. She, oh my goodness, she embarrassed me so bad. She reared up and she bucked and she flipped in circles to the right, flipped in circles to the left, and she reared up and she threw her front paws or feet, her front feet out, and she whipped in circles and she bucked and she kicked, and this went on what seemed like forever, and I was determined not to let her win. And I had sat myself down in the saddle and I was rearing back and I was going forward when she was rearing up, and she would buck and I would go back and she'd flip in circles and I'd lean this way and I'd lean that way. And out of the corner of my eye, I saw a man jump the fence, and he came running towards us. He was going to stop this behavior and save me from getting hurt. And I put my hand out and I said, no, don't touch her. And I said, I'm going to win this battle. So he backed up. The man didn't come forward. And we flipped in circles, and we went up, and we went down, and we went round and round. And I finally took the one rein, and I pulled her head sideways so that she was pretty much looking at my feet, which didn't allow her to make all the movements that she was doing as a rodeo horse. And I got her calmed down, and I patted her on the neck, and I was totally embarrassed, but I never got off this horse. I never got off her. Once she was calmed down, I walked her out of the ring, and I brought her over to the trailer, tied her up. I was so embarrassed, so disgusted. And you can imagine a little 11-year-old girl first time in the ring with her beautiful horse, and this happens. So I was very dejected. My dad came over and he said, "Good job for staying on her, Robin. Good job. You got her under control. That was great." And I was like, yeah, I didn't really, believe it. I was just sad and dejected and angry at my stupid horse. So the third, I was shaking a little bit because I was embarrassed. Not so much because I was afraid of Candy, but because I was embarrassed. And the third class came around, and they announced for the riders to go into the ring, and I refused to go. And my mom was like, "Robin, please, please don't, please, we've paid the entry fee. Please finish your horse show out." I was like, nope, we are not going back in that ring. Well, before the third class started, the person who was announcing at the horse show called me back into the ring. And I couldn't imagine what was going on because the class was already over. They had already handed out the blue ribbons and all that. And so she calls me back into the ring, and I go up to the announcer, and here they gave me a trophy for the best horsemanship of the day. And they thought I deserved it, apparently, for riding this bucking bronco all over all over the ring and not giving up. So I accepted the trophy gracefully, thankfully. Candy behaved well enough to walk up, and have me accept the trophy. And I kept that trophy for years. But apparently I was the best rider of the whole group that day, but I didn't really appreciate it because I was so humiliated. And I rode back out of the ring, and I put Candy in the trailer, the horse trailer, and my mom was like, please go into your third class. And I was like, no way, Jose, nope, not doing that again. So it was at that moment that I decided that Candy was happier not going into a show ring, and I was happier not going into a show ring. And we spent many years trail riding with my girlfriends. Patty, I had a very close friend, Patty, and she had a horse, and also Doris, and she had a horse. So the three of us were like the Three Musketeers, and we rode all these little motorcycle trails and dirt roads, and just enjoyed the country scenery of Gilmanton, New Hampshire. So that's my story of my rodeo horse, who did not want to be a pleasant little show horse. And I want to thank you for watching. If you enjoyed my story, please leave a like and comment if you've ever had an experience similar to this in your childhood that just left you mortified. And also, if you would, subscribe to my channel, because I do share stories such as this that happened in my childhood. I have many stories. You can look on my YouTube page, which is UrbanSClady. The SC stands for South Carolina. I abbreviated it so it wouldn't be such a long channel name. But until next time, I hope you do subscribe so that you can be notified when my next video comes out. And I love to chat. I have a Monday morning chat at 11 o'clock, and it's a live chat, and I'm trying to figure that out as I go. So y'all have a great day. Thanks for watching. Until next time, may you have peace in your life.